I never imagined my wedding, the day I dreamed about since I was little, would end with me locking myself in a hotel bathroom, sobbing on the cold tile floor while my husband pounded on the door, begging me to let him explain something that I already knew, deep down, wasn't his fault. But that's what happens when your own sister tries to kiss your fiancé the night before your wedding. I wish this was a joke. I wish this was one of those ridiculous stories you see on Reddit and think, there's no way this is real. But here I am, living it. I guess I should start with some context. I'm 29, the middle child between two sisters, Claire, 31, and Daisy, 25. We grew up close, or at least that's what everyone always assumed, because we looked close from the outside. 3 sisters, matching Christmas pajamas, cute photo ops, birthday parties, all that Pinterest perfect stuff our mom curated for social media. But behind the scenes, it was always a mess. Claire, the oldest, was the golden child. Straight A student, student council, pretty, charismatic, everybody loved her. Daisy was the baby everyone coddled, sweet, spoiled, sensitive, fragile, the one who needed more understanding. And me, I was the glue, the fixer, the one who didn't cause problems, so I didn't get attention. Which is how everything with my wedding spiraled so fast, because my family had been training me for years to ignore my own boundaries. Enter Ethan, my fiancé, now husband. He's the first person in my life who ever treated me like I wasn't second choice. Not an accessory to someone else's drama, not the calm one who could handle being neglected because other people needed more attention. We met 4 years ago. I was recovering from a breakup with a guy who'd cheated on me with someone he met at the gym, and I was swearing off men altogether. Ethan worked in the same office building. He'd bring me coffee when he saw me struggling, hold doors open, remember little things about me like my favorite pen color or how stressed I sounded last Thursday. He made me feel seen. My family liked him, or at least they pretended to. My mom said he was stable and safe. My dad liked him more than he liked any of my previous boyfriends, which wasn't saying a lot, but still. Even Daisy seemed excited, until she wasn't. I never thought I'd say this about my own sister, but Daisy has always had a thing for attention from men, specifically my boyfriends. When I was 16, she wrote my boyfriend's name in hearts all over her school notebook. When I was 19, she told a guy I was dating that I had cheated on him, so he'd dump me. She denies it to this day, but he showed me the texts. When I was 23, I brought a guy home for Thanksgiving and found Daisy sitting on his lap in the living room because there weren't any other seats. But I brushed it off, because that's what middle children do. We normalize being treated like the backup emotional punching bag. Ethan always handled her politely but firmly. He never flirted back, never encouraged her, never even entertained her nonsense. He'd come to me afterward, sometimes annoyed, sometimes confused, sometimes worried that it bothered me. I told him I was fine, that I was used to it. God, I wish I'd listened to him sooner. Fast forward to wedding planning. Daisy was my bridesmaid, and Claire was my maid of honor. Things were going smoothly, until the engagement dinner. Daisy showed up in a white dress, a literal white dress, floor-length satin bridal looking. I told her she looked beautiful, but that it was a little close to bridal attire. She pouted, said she didn't think it mattered, then cried to my mother about how I was attacking her. My mom told me to let it go. I did. Stupidly. Next, Daisy started texting Ethan. Nothing flirty at first, just weirdly personal questions. What should I get you for your birthday? Do you think it's weird if bridesmaids wear lipstick on the wedding day? Do you think I'd look better with bangs? Ethan told me about all of it. He even let me read every message. We told her to stop. She stopped. For 3 weeks. Then came the bachelorette party. It was supposed to just be a chill weekend at a lakeside Airbnb. Wine, movies, face masks. Daisy drank the most. She kept leaning on Ethan's name. You know how some girls get when they drink. Crying about their exes. Daisy gets flirty and handsy and bold. She slurred out, loud enough for everyone to hear. I bet Ethan would pick me if we had met first. Everyone went silent. Claire grabbed her arm and told her to cut it out. Daisy laughed and poured another drink. Again, my mom said, she didn't mean anything by it. The final straw happened the night before the wedding. We were staying at a hotel near the venue. Ethan and I had separate rooms per tradition. I was having a late-night panic attack, normal pre-wedding jitters, so I stepped out to get ice from the hallway. When I came back, Claire was standing outside Ethan's door looking absolutely panicked. The second she saw me, she grabbed my wrist and hissed, "Where have you been? You need to get in there now." My stomach dropped. For a split second, I thought something had happened to Ethan. I rushed past her and pushed open the door. What I saw is burned into my brain. Ethan was standing near the mini fridge, hands up like he was defenseless. Daisy was inches away from him, lipstick smudged, dress strap falling off her shoulder, eyes glassy from whatever she'd been drinking. She was leaning forward like she had just thrown herself at him. He was pulling away as far as he could without physically touching her. The moment she saw me, she burst into tears and said, "It was an accident." "Accident? You don't accidentally try to kiss your sister's fiancé." Ethan looked horrified. Claire looked furious. Daisy looked like she was trying to summon another set of tears to save herself. I didn't even scream. I think I just shut down. I told Daisy to leave. She cried harder and said, "You're ruining everything. You know how emotionally fragile I am. I swear to God that girl could set a house on fire and then blame the match." She staggered out of the room, still sobbing, and Claire followed her so she wouldn't cause another scene. That's when Ethan broke down. He kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I should have called you. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to touch her. I swear I didn't." I told him I believed him. Because I did. I could see the fear in his eyes. Not guilt. Fear. Fear that this one moment would destroy everything we'd built. I wish that was the end of the story. But of course it wasn't. When I told my parents what happened, they acted like I had accused Daisy of murder. My mom's exact words were, "Honey, Daisy is sensitive. She doesn't understand boundaries. You know she has issues." Issues or not, she tried to kiss my fiancé. My dad suggested we keep it quiet so it wouldn't ruin the wedding mood. And then they suggested she still attend. I said no. I said absolutely not. My mom burst into tears. She told me I was punishing Daisy. She accused me of being jealous of my sister. Jealous? Jealous? I exploded. For the first time in my entire life, I yelled at my parents. I told them they had enabled Daisy her whole life. I told them they had let her sabotage my relationships for years. I told them that if she came to the wedding, I wouldn't. Then I stormed out. The wedding morning should have been magical, but instead I was fielding calls from my mother, my father, my aunt, even 2 cousins who were apparently recruited to guilt trip me. Everyone said the same thing. "Just let Daisy come. She feels horrible. Don't be dramatic. It's your wedding. Can't you be the bigger person?" No, I could not be the bigger person when my little sister tried to seduce my future husband. Ethan supported me completely. Claire, surprisingly, sided with me too. She said she had caught Daisy trying to corner Ethan earlier in the week. She just hadn't told me because she didn't want to stress me. The wedding itself was beautiful, emotional, perfect, except for the empty bridesmaid spot. And my parents' icy stares. After the ceremony, while Ethan and I were taking photos, I got a text from Daisy. "You're sick for doing this to me. You'll regret embarrassing me." I blocked her. Then, around 1 a.m., after almost everyone had gone home, I got another text, from my dad this time. "You need to apologize to your sister. She made a mistake. Family is family." I didn't respond. Now it's been 3 weeks since the wedding. My parents have barely spoken to me. My mother keeps sending passive-aggressive messages about losing both her daughters. Daisy posted a long, vague Facebook rant about being betrayed by the people who are supposed to love you. Half the family thinks I overreacted. The other half thinks Daisy is unhinged. And now I'm sitting here wondering if I've actually destroyed my relationship with my parents. If I'm the problem. If I'm the one who blew everything up. My therapist said something interesting yesterday. You didn't lose your family. You just stopped letting them use you. But I'm still torn. So Reddit, AITA for banning my sister from my wedding because she tried to kiss my husband. Update. I didn't expect to be writing an update so soon, but everything has gotten so unbelievably chaotic that I almost can't process it. If you thought the original story was dramatic, this update takes things to another level. 3 weeks have passed since the wedding, and at first things were strangely calm. My parents were still passive-aggressive, but the constant guilt trip calls stopped. Daisy wasn't posting cryptic Facebook rants anymore. Even Claire thought that maybe Daisy had finally realized she'd crossed a line. But that silence was not peace. It was preparation. Last weekend, my parents invited me and Ethan over for what they called a post-wedding brunch. I honestly thought it was a gesture to start repairing things. Instead, when we walked in, half my extended family was there. My grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins. And then I saw Daisy, sitting on the couch with red eyes and a handful of tissues like she was starring in her own tragic movie. My stomach dropped immediately. We sat down, and my mom announced that Daisy has something to say. Daisy took this shaky breath and with the fakest sorrow I've ever seen said, "I'm pregnant, and it might be Ethan's." For a moment, it felt like time stopped. Someone gasped. My grandmother dropped her fork. Ethan looked like his brain blue-screened. I literally couldn't form a word. When I finally found my voice, I asked what the hell she was talking about. She launched into this dramatic explanation about how the night she tried to kiss Ethan, they had supposedly been drinking together, and one thing led to another, and now she was late and terrified it might be his. She said it softly, like she wanted to sound brave for admitting a terrible truth. Except Ethan has a vasectomy, has had one for years. He told me on our 5th date because he didn't want kids. I knew this. He knew this. Daisy did not. But before I even had the chance to say it, the room exploded into chaos. My mom started crying. My dad stood up like he wanted to fight Ethan. My aunt lectured us about responsibility. A cousin whispered, "Oh my God," on repeat like she was live streaming it to her brain. Ethan just kept blinking, stunned, humiliated, blindsided, looking like he was physically ill. He finally managed to say, "I didn't touch you." Daisy shook her head sadly like she was disappointed in him and said, "Ethan, please don't make this worse." I'm trying to be honest. And something in me just snapped. I stood up and yelled, "He has a vasectomy, you psychotic liar!" The room went dead silent. Daisy's face went blank. My parents froze, and then Claire stood up and said, "Also, Daisy has been hooking up with her ex for months, and his roommate. So unless Ethan teleported into her bedroom and broke the laws of physics, her math isn't mathing." That's when Daisy threw her glass. Yup! Full dramatic meltdown, glass smashed against the wall. She screamed, and of course my mom rushed to comfort her while glaring at me like I just ruined Christmas. Ethan grabbed my hand and whispered, "We're leaving?" As we walked out, Daisy shrieked, "You ruin everything for me. You always have." A couple hours later, Ethan got a message from Daisy's ex, a guy named Brian. He said he was sorry she dragged Ethan into this, and that she'd told him she was planning to fix everything. He didn't realize what she meant until he saw her brand new TikTok. My heart dropped. We opened TikTok, and sure enough, Daisy had uploaded this dramatic crying video. Full mascara streaks, trembling voice, the whole performance. The caption said, "My sister stole the man I loved, and now I'm pregnant with his baby." It already had tens of thousands of views. The comments were horrifying. Strangers calling me a traitor, accusing Ethan of grooming her, people telling Daisy to stay strong, queen, and even some unhinged person threatening to expose us. We reported the video. Claire reported it. TikTok didn't take it down. 2 days later, Daisy texted me saying she was taking a pregnancy test and that when it proved us wrong, she hoped my marriage survived. I didn't answer. She took the test today, and guess what? She's not pregnant, not even close, and somehow she's still spinning it, saying stress delayed her cycle and that Ethan traumatized her by rejecting her. She's threatening to sue Ethan for slander. She's threatening to sue me for emotional damage. She's claiming she'll go public with more proof. Proof she does not have. My parents are flip-flopping between we don't know who to believe and Daisy wouldn't lie about something so serious, which is insane considering she's been caught lying about serious things before. Claire told them they were being brain dead, and now they're mad at her too. The only person who seems grounded in reality is Ethan, who has been trying to protect me from the emotional fallout. And then came the final twist. Brian sent me screenshots. Daisy had been messaging him things like, "Once OP is divorced, Ethan will finally see how much I love him. I'm the better sister. He'll come to me eventually." She didn't accidentally try to kiss Ethan. She didn't have some emotional lapse. She planned it. She has fantasized an entire relationship with him in her head and truly thought that if she could just break us up, he would magically fall for her. When he rejected her, she retaliated by manufacturing a pregnancy to destroy our marriage. I sent the screenshots to my parents. No response so far. I think for the first time in their lives, they might actually be forced to admit who Daisy really is. As for me and Ethan, this whole nightmare has somehow made us stronger. It's bonded us in a way I can't even explain. My therapist says Daisy needs intensive professional help. My parents probably do too. At this point, Daisy is blocked everywhere. My parents are on low-contact probation. Claire and I are closer than ever. And no, I absolutely do not regret banning Daisy from the wedding. If anything, I should have banned her from my life years ago. That's the update. I wish it was less dramatic, but apparently my family is allergic to peace.